Thank you guys for being here. My name is Becky. I'm Coach BluSky, and my specialty here is psychology because that is my favorite thing. I think that is what has changed my trading the most is by having a strong technical strategy on the charts, but then really dialing in my psychology and putting a lot of focus and emphasis there over the last few years. That has what has helped me, I guess, regain my sanity as a trader, and then also scale up with my skill and experience in the markets. So I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I know we're all kind of like easing back into the trading world this week. And so I'm very happy to have everyone back and getting back up to speed. My episode from last week, there was just some delay because of the holidays and everyone's time off getting it out, but it's going to come out this week. And then this one will start coming out again pretty shortly, like hopefully by tomorrow, and be back on schedule with the releasing of the episodes. So if you haven't caught last week's, that one's going to come out today or tomorrow is my expectation as well. But today we're going to talk about visualization. So this is a topic that I think, is thought of in different ways by different people. Some people have heard about it in the right way to use it in their system, and it really appeals to them. And other people are not sure what the benefit would be and if it's worth the time and how it could be like put into a schedule or a routine in order to really have some benefit to your life and to your trading for you, right? But what I have learned, and to be fair, when I first heard of it, I was like, okay, yeah, I should do that too. But I side-eyed it. I'm not even going to lie to you because, I like real concrete things for sure. I want to be able to be told what to do on a lesson and actually write something out, do something, see the results right away, learn how to draw my charts, see the levels respected. That's a little bit more tangible for me. So when I finally did give this a real shot, I really liked my experience with it. I really enjoyed how it made me feel, how it made me deal with my charts, how it made me see everything on there. Well, what's up? We got a first timer, Right Highs Trading. Welcome. Happy to be here. Happy to have you here. So today I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I don't know how everyone's going to feel about it, but I love it. And I am really grateful every time I make a time to do a session. And so I want to do more of that this year. And so if it's something that I have recognized that changes my situation as a trader and I want to prioritize it this year, that's the kind of thing that I want to talk about with you guys. And then you can kind of feel how it goes for you. So let's just do it. This, as always, we're here to learn together and grow together as traders. So thank you for being here, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about it. Today it is kind of underutilized by traders, but it's scientifically supported. And so that is a big part of why I love this conversation as well, is because it's a performance tool. It's not necessarily like just this nice thing that helps you go to sleep at night because it puts you in a happy headspace. It's not wishful thinking either. It's more about mental rehearsal and emotional regulation, and then leveling up who you are in your identity. And all of those things will directly impact your P&L when done consistently. So then why do we have to think about that? Like why can't we just level up because we understand the technicals and a strong trading edge and we just do that all the time? Well, I think this is a big part of it, is that trading is a mental performance game. Once you get a good coach behind you, once you get a good technical system and trading approach, then I think that that's where the results start to vary from trader to trader, because you'll see many of you have been a part of BluSky, but also a part of other trading education companies. And everyone gets different results in general for most companies. Why is that? Well, I would argue that, the charts are the same, the teachers are the same, but there's different results. And I think that the consistency is highly variable. And I think the biggest factor on that is psychology. There are other factors for sure, your home environment, your stress, your time. But I think the core of it is a big psychology situation. So most traders don't really fail because they lack a strategy. We know how to find a strategy. We know how to YouTube it, how to join a community, how to find a mentor who is successfully profitable and learn from them, ask them questions and get a strategy. But the issue comes when we can't execute it consistently with the pressure. When you're alone with your mouse or your hot buttons, and it's time to click the buttons and hold to the system, and the money starts printing, the P&L starts swinging, that's when the pressure hits you, and it's you versus you. It's what you've learned. It is who you are. It is what you believe in your core that is going to come out in your executions. And so two traders from the same program with the same technical understanding can come to the same setup One can follow the plan and breathe and focus and take it as it comes and not give in to psychological hurdles. And one can struggle more, hesitate, potentially overtrade, potentially get out too soon, then get frustrated, then chase, then revenge trade. Even when they both probably in their depths of their mind both know how to act and what they want to do and how they want to trade their system. In that moment when the metal hits the pavement there, the wheel hits the pavement. What's the phrase? Someone will tell me the phrase. But when it comes down to what's going to happen on your charts, it's mental conditioning. It's your ability to hold to your system, I think, is really a key factor on this. So then why are we talking about visualization? What is visualization? So it's the mental rehearsal with intention. It activates the same neural pathways as action and is used by elite performers. So it is the process of intentionally rehearsing behaviors, decisions, and emotional responses in your mind, not what's actively playing out in front of you. And so neuroscience has been studied, multiple studies across the world, that the brain doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. That's why, what's the video game where you put it on your face and you see the world? And my kids love that stuff. Gosh, I can't think of it. Anyways, so it's like why AI and no, it's going to bother me now. Why you can see things and you think that they're real and they're not necessarily tangible in front of you. So visualization will strengthen your neural pathways responsible for execution, focus, and emotional control. VR, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, that was a side note. But it's like VR in that way of like making your mind see something and think that it's real. And it really does heighten your body. It heightens your emotions, your psychology, your pressure, your ability to hold the focus to your system. And so this is essentially why it is used by elite performers, such as professional athletes, Olympians, surgeons, military pilots, top executives. Surgeons absolutely will use simulators and will do a ton of visualization in order to do really complicated surgeries or to get better at a certain part of a surgery that's especially challenging or complex. And then so it has been studied in elite performers to be really a powerful practice to strengthen your skills when it comes down to the match at hand. So it can be just as powerful for traders because really we are elite performers as well. It's us on the market with our system. And so there are a lot of comparisons between professional athletes and professional traders in that way, in the requirement to hold to your psychology. And so just a minute more to show you there is a little bit more research behind it that really does improve performance, confidence, emotional regulations, and consistency, because there's been a few really important key findings from the performance psychology research in the last 20 years, and some of which are done at Harvard and the Cleveland Clinic, that showed that mental rehearsal alone increases performance by up to 13 to 22%, which is kind of a big deal. Like when the market moves 2%, we're like, damn, that was a big day. So if we can get our performance to be up 13 to 22% by a practice that we do alone in a quiet, comfy chair, sounds pretty great, right? And so visualization, how it works is it activates the motor cortex, emotional centers, and decision-making regions in your brain. And so they have studied this under MRI and all sorts of different testing, and they've tried to keep it as blind as they could in terms of level playing field of the participants. And so they have found physiologically in the brain that it lights up the important parts of our brain that cause our outcomes. And so in this way, it improves self-efficacy and our belief system that we can execute under pressure because you've sort of already done it, is what it does. You visualize executing under pressure and doing it well to your system in that moment. And so for trading, that can come across as better executions when we are entering and then managing our trades, and less emotional hijacking when the pressure starts to come. And then also a faster recovery from losses, because that can be part of the visualization as well. So let's get a little bit more into why it is specifically powerful for traders. Trading is repetitive. It also carries a lot of emotions and pressures, and it happens fast. Trading, it's unique because you do perform the same actions repeatedly. There's a skill, there's an entry mechanism, a trade management, a risk management system that is a part of how you trade your system. but the outcomes are uncertain. So we can understand our system, we can know how to trade it, we can understand how to use the platform that we are using, but then the outcomes are going to be the variability in your day. How is it going to go? Was your read right, or did something happen? Did something come out that like totally derailed your trade plan? And so there's going to be a higher outcome of emotional spikes in that day because there's that high pressure, and the financial implications play into it all the time. And so what visualization then can help you do is that basically you can pre-experience the pressure before it happens. You can think about feeling that, being in that moment, living that situation, and then what you would do. And with that visualization, then you can practice your calm responses to both the wins and the losses and your trade management, and kind of prime yourself to do that, but in real time. And so in that way, it should reinforce your patience and discipline because you're kind of living it. You're training your body, just not while there's actual risk on the line. You train your nervous system and your mind by doing this advance. And it just helps to make you a little bit more steady when the time comes. And then I also love that it helps you to create your identity. It helps you to teach your brain and your body and your system who you are becoming. It kind of calls it into your current place in the world. It calls you into your current skill level as a trader. And then action can follow that identity. You know, when you're saying, I want to be a very skilled, purposeful, intentional person who manages my risk well and takes killer trades and holds my trades to their endpoint, that's the trader that I want to be, like the boss right there. Thank you, Ace. And so that identity can help drive your consistency because you say, this is who I am. And in being that person, this is how I behave. And so I think that one of the biggest breakthroughs for traders can be to shift from what should I do to who am I being while I'm trading? What trader am I actively becoming and executing as on my charts? And in that way, visualization will help you embody that best trader self ahead of time. You can remember yourself as a trader who is calm, process focused, detached from individual outcomes because you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know what system you have built. And then you can let that consistency compound over time, which is really important because not everything is going to happen intraday. You can have a red day and still be a profitable trader and have a really nice green month, despite what can happen in that one specific day. So I think that there's a point of like, you don't rise necessarily to your goals, but you fall to who you are, how you behave, what identity you have cultivated for yourself as a trader. And that is shaped by our actions and our personal beliefs that we really feel that we are going to stay and hold to. And so you do want to have clear trading goals because that will help you, I guess, clarify where you want to go with everything, with your trading and with your business as a professional trader. It can help you dial in your focus and know who and how you want to be. And I think the more vague you are, the more you allow like gray in. That's true on slippage. But this is a tool that kind of can help with all of it. I think it can help you manage the slippage too, to lock into more specific on who you want to be and how you want to be. And then there's going to be a long game with this too. Like it's not as if you do one or two visualizations and then that is who you always are at your charts. It's more so it supports who you are growing into as you grow. And so again, like that's not, a rapid thing, but it will help you kind of get your process in sync so that the outcomes can follow after that. It can help you kind of change your core a little bit so that you're stronger. And then the P&L always follows a stronger system, but it's more powerful when it's specific. So clear goals do help you determine what you want to visualize, how you measure your progress, and then also who you are becoming. Who you are becoming as a trader and as a person in this world. And so I do say it's also helpful to not visualize the money part of it because that can be kind of a fixation on not exactly what changes your outcomes. When do you have edge to fit into this? When do you have edge fit into this is the question. I think you have to have an edge in addition to this. Like you have to, this will work when you understand your trading system, what you need to look for, how you want to execute. And then you have back tested and you know, like on certain days, trending days versus rotational days, what my best trade looks like and how I get into that. And then that is what I'm talking about too now, which is perfect that you say it, because having that specificity in terms of what a flawless execution would look like and how you would hold steady through that period, how you would hold steady on getting your bomb entry, and then what you would do to manage that, how you would scale, how you would manage your risk when those opportunities do present, and then also a discipline when you have a drawdown potentially. Because then you can have more confidence about following your rules because your mind is already primed for like, this looks great when I do this, when I follow my edge in my system. So I want to do that the next time I'm at my chart is real trading time and I'm executing. Great point. So I think the example here is goal aligned visualization. We want to think about exactly how we want to behave when our trade setup comes. So this conversation today is separate from a technical analysis. I'm not going to cover like what a gray day setup would be, but more so if you have a gray day setup, I want you to think about that and think about how you have seen it multiple times, what it looks like when it presents on your chart, your market of choice, and then how you dream in your coziest spot of how you can capitalize on it most fully. That is kind of the point of this, is like knowing what it looks like to wait, knowing what it looks like to see your A+ setup, and then managing that trade to your maximum ability. Yeah, see, session view up, like today. Today was a bullish start, nice pullback to yesterday's high of value and VWAP, and then it hesitated there, turned direction, and then pushed up and made a new high. Like that was a beautiful setup. And so let's say, like that's our setup. Well, if your goal is consistency, your visualization wants to include, you see it maybe in the morning, push up and make that new beautiful high that it made today. You didn't get in on that. That's fine. It starts to fall. We don't know where it's going to hold support, right? We let it fall. We let it come down. We see which supports hold and which break. And then when the market turns, it's not necessarily an instantaneous V turn all that often. So then you want to kind of sit on your hands, let the trade come to you, let it fall to a higher likely place of support, such as VWAP. Let it show you that the fall has stopped by a consolidation period, and then think about what it would look like when it shows you that it's turning and it's pushing back up for the next run up, because the morning was so bullish and it's showing you that their value and the day is migrating up in terms of bullish direction on the day. Exactly. Patience pays. And so in our minds, we can use a visualization on this exact day of what it looks like to say, I am being patiently waiting for my best entry. And it's not necessarily always perfect days either, but a perfect day is a part of what you want to visualize as well. But it's more so you want to visualize your best, most ideal responses. It's not about the money either. It's not about saying I want a 5K day. It's more about I want to execute my system to the absolute best of my ability. And that looks like waiting to see an area that I understand holding, why and how that looks like, and what is the best time to enter that trade. It's about the choices you would make when the setups present, which we all know the market does give us setups every day, most every day. And so the execution behaviors and trade management should be the focus of your visualization when you create these sessions. And so then how to use it in your trading routine, right? Because we're all busy. Some people have multiple jobs. I certainly do, and kids. And so I don't have unlimited free time. I don't think very many of us do. And so you do want to make the most impact for the time that you do have. And so this can't be necessarily like a long, complicated thing. It can't be at times that are not super beneficial for you or that get into your routine in a negative way, because then it's not going to be, you won't be able to honor that. I think set and forget is definitely a strategy for entry. But then there's the argument that not everyone can do that. Like if your trading system, if your A+ setup is, I see my entry, I get in this way, I trust it, I place my targets and I walk away, like good on you. But I think part of the struggle with traders sometimes is that is your plan. You understand it, you like it, you back tested it and you believe in it, but then you start to monkey with it. Then intraday, when the pressure is on, it's printing green, it starts to pull back. You want to close it early sometimes. And that is not necessarily your system. And if you allowed your set and forget it system for your technical analysis trade setup, maybe it would work out really well. And maybe part of what you're struggling with is not fully honoring that. And so then this technique is about practicing in your quiet moments, doing exactly as you intend to do. Yeah, I know. That's an excellent tip, Ace. Walk away. So if you want to do just walk away, I love that. But also if you want to practice allowing the trade to play out and keeping an eye on it, but trusting yourself to follow your rules, we can practice visualizing it. You can do these sessions 3 to 5 minutes a day. Two powerful times to do it is before market opens, as you are setting up your trade plan, as you are preparing for your day. Take a few minutes of peace and quiet with no one around you, with your eyes closed, and think through a visualization of your best executions. And then also as you're doing your after trade review at the end of the day, either in the afternoon when you have quiet time to journal, or in the evening when your house is quiet and you again have that space that's just for you, think about what you did that day, anything you want to change or adjust, how you maybe could have executed or behaved slightly better on your charts, and then visualize through working through that with your ideal trade setups. So that before the trading day can be seen as like priming your mind. After your journaling or at the end of the day can be seen as like a reinforcement period of how you most ideally want to behave. But I would say that this is the most powerful when it's not during trading hours, because if it's pulling you back to your charts and it's pulling you back to the day and the charts are still printing, then you're not really doing the visualization. You're more so thinking about the trade opportunities and how you want to trade them. It is a little more powerful when there's no pressure or there's no potential for clicking buy or sell necessarily. So those are kind of the best times. And I would say also that consistency does beat duration. Like it doesn't, you don't have to have like a long, dramatic, beautiful story necessarily that lasts 10 minutes, but more so 2 to 5 minutes even before in the morning when you really can just see it in vivid detail in your mind, how you want to behave. Now, if you have done this or you want to do it, there's a few things that I would caution you to try and avoid. You don't want to only visualize the wins, because it's true, you want to call this to you. And of course, you want to be winning beautifully, gigantically green traders. But you also don't want to only vision the wins and think about the best case scenario always, because that's not reality of trading. And so you want to think about your entire trading process when you're doing this visualization to make it kind of like more holistic and more applicable to all of the days. And you don't want to skip the emotional discomfort either, because ignoring the emotional discomfort, we want to be able to manage the emotional discomfort, not pretend it doesn't exist. So you actually want to feel emotions when you're visualizing, because you want to feel how it would look, how it would experience to have those, and then think about how best you can navigate them. And then if you're inconsistent with it, it's not going to have as much of an impact. So this can just be a thing that you heard about one Tuesday afternoon and did one time in January, which is great. I mean, it will give you a little exposure to it. But if you do it regularly, it will be more powerful statistically via scientific research, that fact. So you do want to also make sure, instead of only visualizing the wins, that you're visualizing losses handled well. And these can be, you can not necessarily do those in the same visualization session. You can do a couple variations of how you want to visualize your trading session, but to both visualize handling a win well, and then also handling a loss well, and accepting your stop out and doing what you have decided you want to do in that moment, whether it be lock your account or go for a walk or shut down your system for a minimum of 15 minutes. Whatever your system and your psychology is part of your risk management under your plan, you want to visualize honoring that. So stepping away when you're emotional, following your rules, even if you're bored or anxious or frustrated or you're FOMOing, that's the kind of thing you want to visualize that you are strong enough to do, to handle those situations how you would like to do, how you would coach yourself to do when you're not trading. And so that's where the growth is really the most powerful, because you're visualizing managing the reality of being a trader. I think that is really an important part of what we each can do and like take responsibility for and bring into our day. So I think we should try it. Who's down? You guys want to try it with me? Where are you guys at in life right now? What I would love for you to do. Aw, welcome, Fatima. It's okay. You're here for maybe my favorite part. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to walk you through a guided visualization. So I don't know where you're at. If you're driving, don't do it. Don't close your eyes. But I would get comfortable. I would like back away from the slideshow. It's not going to change for the next 5 minutes. Everybody's got to like relax, sit back, get comfortable, close your eyes. Okay, I'm going to turn on a little bit of background music, but of course there's a commercial, so we'll let that go through. Okay. Is everybody there with me? Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, we're going to do this together. Take another deep breath in and out. Allow your body to settle. Relax your muscles. Settle into your chair. The market is closed. So now, imagine yourself sitting at your trading desk on a normal trading day. It's the morning. You're getting ready to trade. Notice your posture. Your breathing. Slow your breathing down. Notice your thoughts. What you're thinking about your day, where you're focusing at. Put yourself in that seat. Right now, in that position, you feel calm, grounded, prepared. You know how to trade and you know what your trading system looks like. You open your charts like you always do, and you analyze the market with an open mind. We're calm, open, curious. We're taking in the data, looking for patterns, identifying our levels, finding the information we need for any situation that could play out today. Do your morning process. You're writing your notes. You're delineating your levels and what you want to see there. Deep breaths. You patiently wait after noting your trade ideas. There's no urgency right now. We're in the zone. We're clear. I know my trading system. I enjoy waiting for my levels to see the response. A setup appears that fits my plan perfectly. We've seen this day before. This level is holding. You execute confidently based on your entry criteria. No hesitation, no second guessing. You've studied this. You know how to get in and out of this trade opportunity in front of you right now. You're sitting calmly and focused. You're ready for this opportunity. Now it's here. There's no reason to get anxious. If this trade wins or loses, you're steady. You've accepted the risk. You know the setup. This is the business you have embraced for your life, and it's pretty great. Your protective stop is there, so no matter what, your accounts are safe. Those rules you trust. Your rules you trust. So you follow them. No hesitation there either. We don't squeeze trades. We trust our setup. You feel proud, not because of the outcome, but because you executed like a professional. You've shown up for the work of trading. You understand the setup. You're a strong trader. This trade goes to your profit target. It moved up. It came back a little. But you held. The market very rarely goes in one direction so fast. You held because your statistics show you that when this setup comes, most likely it will push to your targets. You didn't have to squeeze it or get anxious, and you didn't. You sat back in your chair and you let it play out. You did your job well today. Feel strong. Feel proud of that execution, that patience. All of the years that you have put in to learn this edge, they pay off when you honor who you are as a trader. Now you get to walk away clear-headed, disciplined, and consistent. This is who you are as a trader. You have created this trader. You've earned it. Take one more deep breath and release it all. This is who I am as a trader. No wonder my future is coming steadily. When you're ready, open your eyes. Do you guys ever do that? Anything like that? I guess I can turn off my background music. I've written out a few of these, and I will write them out, and sometimes speaks to my specific trading setup. Sometimes walks me through a losing day where I got in and I thought it was a killer trade and my stop was taken. And I say in the visualization how I really wanted this trade to end green and I thought that it was a good setup, but I walk away. I'm not going to chase this right now. It proved to me it wasn't a good trade. Don't say that, Nacho. But you want to have some variations in your visualizations. They don't have to be long. I didn't spend forever sitting through the trade management of this because, you know, we can see the candles in our mind print pretty quickly. So you don't have to make it long and dramatic, but more so you want to make it applicable to who you are and how you want to be. And if there's a certain part of your trading that you struggle with more in terms of revenge trading or over trading or experiencing FOMO, then you want to tailor your visualizations to that. And one hack that I have is pulling up a non-copyrighted background music on YouTube, and I record my voice reading it to me with that background music on just the voice memo app on my phone. And then you can literally just throw it in your ears with AirPods in the evening or in the morning. Then you have to think less, right? This is a way to make it easier by pre-recording it. Or you can skip to this recording and this one if you liked it as a way to get used to this. This recording will be posted in its entirety on YouTube tomorrow or the next day. But you can use this 5-minute chunk of today in order to frame it up, or just do that, but also frame it up and make it your own. And I did warn you, don't close your eyes while you're driving. So BluSky is not responsible. I'm just kidding. I feel like that was in the disclaimer. Maybe not. But I find this relaxing and encouraging, and it brings to me who I want to be. It helps me think about exactly what it feels like to be in that moment and to trust myself and to recognize and give myself credit for the way that I understand my setups and how I manage them. And then I do find it comes a little bit easier to me the next day, especially the patience, because I don't know about you guys, but patience was something that I really struggled with and still at times struggle with, of waiting for the absolute best entry based on the way that I understand the markets. And so by rehearsing that discipline and that patience, and then sitting through the trade and recognizing that it will pull back a little bit, but it often will go to my targets. And knowing that is one thing, but also having experienced it as many times as possible, you'll just get better at honoring that. And experiencing it in real time is the best. It's the most impactful. But visualizing it can also bring you back there if you really put your mind on the visualization of what it feels like to do that. And so that can reinforce your trader identity in a way that, like, every trading session that we have in terms of trading session also reinforces that. What you do will create your outcomes. And so this is just another thing that we can choose to do consistently, and then it will show up more in our real-time execution. And like I said, when I have these visualization sessions for myself, either I like to do them at bedtime because my kids are asleep, my house is quiet, it's dark, I can more easily focus. And then I also like to do it pre-market when I can. I can't always, but then it really helps pull me into that space where these are the behaviors and the person that I want to be when I am a trader. Now. I think that it's true that small actions will compound over time. And so daily reps really matter. I think daily visualization and putting the energy on the behaviors that we want to be help make it a reality, because it's not so wishy-washy, I guess. It's not so like, we'll see how it goes. Like, yesterday was a great training day. Today's going to be a great training day. Instead, it adds more specificity in terms of consistently, this is who I am, and it happens when I'm trading, and it also is a part of my identity and who I am when I'm not at my computer. And it's greater than intensity, I would argue, because by doing something like really having like 2 hours where you just visualize every single thing on a Saturday when you have time in an empty house, that's a great idea. It might feel wonderful, might be a great session, but having pieces more often, daily, if you can, I think it helps. I think it helps strengthen your outcomes on the chart. And it helps you have that emotional awareness of what you're working through. Morados, I think I have more work in my trading plan because I was confusing. Okay, so I love your point right now, and I'm going to focus on that for a minute, because this is the most powerful when it's specific. And so you want to tailor this to who you are as a trader and how you understand the markets. And you want to think about what your best setup looks like, sometimes called an A+ setup. And that is, are you a trend trader? And so you just want to get in on a test of that trend and then hold it to the next level up. Are you, a trade from the outsides in, like rotational type day trader? What setup do you see most often, understand the best, and see most readily and are able to capitalize on? And then know what that looks like when it presents. And so if that is not quite where you're at in your trading career, definitely you want to keep the focus on that, because that has to underpin all of the psychology work. I think trader psychology is really a critical component to being a long-term professional trader, but it's very hard to prioritize that when you don't have dialed in systems yet. So this is kind of like after you've really traded for a fair number of times and the trading setups come quick to your mind, because it mentioned earlier about the hold on VWAP for a bounce up from there. And that is one of my A+ setups. When I see a strong directional day, like this morning was so strong, bullish, and then it hit a key level of resistance from last week, and it responded and it sold back down all the way to VWAP and a morning support. And then it hesitated there and it danced at VWAP for at least 45 minutes. I was with my kids at the time, but it danced her for quite some time. And for me, that showed a stop of the momentum down and a potential reassumption of the bullish trend of the morning, which would be in sync with the hold from Friday's doji on the daily. So that setup is one that I would definitely choose to visualize, and that hold from there and push up. So ACE, trend line breakout, value area low sweep. And so, yes, I love that, Coach Matt. Trade plan is an evolving dog. And so basically, think about what trade setups you see the most clearly and write them out. My trade plan is on Google Docs. It's 4 pages long. There's 3 setups in it. And so that I fine tune it every couple months or so. I will think about how I'm doing better or worse on something, how I have adjusted. Maybe I work something out with a mentor and I want to fine tune it. And so for me, those are my 3 A+ setups. And so I want to visualize capitalizing on those most. And if it's not one of those great setups, then likely it's like a maybe B setup trade. And so I don't really want to visualize those. I want to visualize trading my A+ setups only. And sometimes they don't work, because I think that happens, right? That's the anomaly of trading the market, is that not every A+ setup is going to be green. It's not everyone is going to win, and that we have to respect that. And that's the situation why we always have a protective stop, right? A single setup and never question. I think having a single setup, having a go-to setup that you love the most, that you see the most, is great. But I think you want to think about the market holistically and how there are maybe a couple different setups, given the day that you're having, experiencing what the condition and market context is. Because if you're just hunting for anything that moves and you want to shoot anything that moves, don't visualize that, because you don't want to call that in your life necessarily. But instead, that patience for your best setups. So, and then Coach Matt, you guys, he does a lab on Thursdays, and he focuses a little bit more on the technicals, and I'm a little more on the psychologicals. But come at us with your technical questions, because especially hit the Thursday lab, because that Matt loves suggestions, as do I, so that we can know, so and so really likes a setup but fumbles it on this part of it. What the heck? And so then we can dig into the what the heck factor on that and create, like, fine tune, shore up that trade plan with you guys. And then you want to really dig into to checking on it, to making it your own, to fine tuning it and writing it out. Yeah, Nacho, I have absolutely loved every single thing that I have learned from Coach Matt. And I have been a trader. I'm coming up on 5 years this March. So I will wholeheartedly tell you right now that I still learn all the time from people who see the market differently and trade it differently. And so I think that this absolutely is a working document where if you ever feel like you've arrived in your trading setups, I would advise you to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because the market is there's always subtleties that we can improve on. So anyways, excellent question. I really appreciate you, Murados, with that, because that was a great point. And I do think, just on this part, the small actions done repeatedly, that's how we rewire our brains. That's neuroplasticity. That's choosing to focus on the best person that we can be, and then we will slowly change our actions in order to always be that person, because it feels good, because we understand it, because we've seen it both in real life and when we have those quiet moments to dial in. And yeah, thank you, Coach Matt. Yeah, playbook is really important for traders, and it's not intuitive, and I don't think the early traders will just have one. You shouldn't. You need to learn a ton of things and then start dialing it in and how it speaks to you. So I think Coach Matt can dig into that. But I do think that trading is volatile, right? We all know that money starts flying around, the P&L starts wicking around. That's important to recognize the fact that we're not trying to, work at a cake shop where we just frost and decorate cakes all day, for example. I don't know why that popped in my head, but it did. That is not what trading is. The markets are uncertain. There's going to be massive financial adjustments depending on when you get into your leveraging. And so I think you're right. I haven't had lunch yet. Your process doesn't have to be volatile. You can figure out how to fine tune it to make it work for you in any given setup by really digging into your specificity on how you best see the market and how you best optimize on that. And so by having a mental routine that helps to remind you on exactly what it looks like to be consistent will help you be more stable. You can't control the market. None of us can. We do not have that capability in our account sizes. I mean, maybe Steve and Rich, I don't know. I am not controlling the market ever, but, well, I shouldn't say ever and limit myself. But these days, what we can control is your preparation and your reactions, especially when we get better at those, and then our habits. And visualization can become a habit that can really be an anchor in an unstable profession. Yes, the mental really helps keep your focus on consistency and repetition. Yeah, I think that it's really powerful to surround yourself with people that speak your language, that speak into you how we all should be our best trader selves, and then to have that sink into our subconscious and kind of become who we want to be when we're executing at our charts, because I think we'll have a better outcome. I have had a better outcome by doing things like this that help change the way I see my potential. It helps take away some of the anxiety. I think being an early trader, it can be nerve-wracking, to say the least. You can see the people who make a ton of money and daydream on being that person and not fully understand the leverage or the setups and start just throwing money around like it doesn't matter. And that can get you into a tricky situation. So you have to kind of prioritize letting it happen over time and making small changes in your day-to-day that really will help you steer you in the right direction and help those small results kind of compound and shore you up. And then recognizing that trading is a long game. No one just has a playbook that they understand inside and out in year one, I would argue, because that is just, it should be a living document that grows and changes with you as you learn new mentors and different styles and you've seen different markets. I mean, the market will flux and change, and something that worked last year might not necessarily be the trade setup anymore. And so recognizing to be flexible with that is also really important. And so I think that by doing this, committing to doing this at least once a day, sometimes two if your situation allows it or you remember to, it really can be a tool that you'll find over time is stabilizing. And by goal aligning it, it's going to help you change you faster. You want to ask yourself, when I visualize, what version of myself am I rehearsing? And then if you think of it as a rehearsal, as like I am an Olympian runner and I know that I can run this pace. And if I really push myself, I can get 1/10 of a second faster. And that could be the difference between gold or not medaling. And so by knowing that I need to see in my mind that I can run that race at this pace every time, I am capable, I am strong, I have practice, I know that this is who I can be. By seeing that, by feeling that, by getting goosebumps when you say that to yourself and when you feel it in the moments, by letting your heart rate be happy for you and knowing that you're the one clicking those buttons at your computer, letting that execution happen and play out and getting your targets, by feeling in your heart and mind and soul that you are experiencing that, when you open your eyes, there's carryover from that. It will pull with you into who you are when you're actually at your chart and you're making that happen. What do you say? 90% fail, 10% most of them barely make anything. Profession, those who want to test not only technical skills, but mental. It's a completely different person from trading. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you, Ace, because I have said that to so many people that I'm so different now than I was 5 years ago before I knew anything about trading, because in order to be a trader this long in the game, I had to. Like, there was a point early on where I wanted to trade, a couple points where I wasn't sure if the pain was too much and if I would ever be able to get there. But I wanted it too badly, and I got enough good people around me at the right times that they helped me stay in the game. And then during that period where I had enough good people around me, I did prioritize, honestly, my psychology and as well as my technicals. But that helped me think about, if I want to be a patient person who has faith in myself and studies my butt off, studies at night and in the morning, and shifts to a person who can successfully execute these outcomes, I had to change. And I first visualized, gosh, Waji might know, she and I did this together for a while, but I mean, at least 2 or 3 years ago is when I first kind of got into this type of thing. And, it comes with the meditation and mindfulness and journaling. There's a lot of different things that speak to different people at different points. Visualization maybe won't be your thing, but I would encourage you to try it. Even not even like in a big dramatic way, but maybe just re-listen to this part of this recording today a couple of times in the morning and see how that feels. Maybe I'll ask them when we post it to post in the show notes the minute mark that you can just fast forward to for that. Because calling that person into your day, I think, will be really a good thing. But don't pull your hair out. But also, there's like creams for that. Maybe you can grow it back. Oh my goodness, Jaja, I can't. Okay, so I would encourage you guys to give this a try. Delta Theta, you guys are killing me. I think we all should become our best trader selves. I think in 2026, we're going to kill it. I think many of you already are killing it. And I think we have more to go, more strength to pull from, more momentum to gain, more skill to lock into, more farther targets to hold to. I think that there's always leveling up to get to. So whether you're Delta, Theta, or NASDAQ, just grow it stronger. Visualize slaying in that market. A lot of us have a strong trading plan, and a lot of us are still building a strong trading plan, but keep at it, keep on the technicals and your trade plan, and keep on the psychology that supports that. The more that you understand and the more that you believe in yourself for executing what you do understand, I think that will help our mind become more powerful. I think it will help us support us in who we are becoming. It becomes like a skill to believe who you are. Okay, everyone type it in. I identify as a permeable. What does everyone identify as? Where are we at right now in our personal identification? Because this is a long game mentality. Let's call it to ourselves. I think it is very strong. So I love that for you, Ace. Gold, right? Gold was strong today. Oh, I love that, Amaro. Blending. Flexible is a big part of my trading strategy, is just be present and don't hold a bias. Because when I hold a bias, sometimes I get my butt kicked and it's really unpleasant. Because if I'm really biased and I can't get out of it, then I will repeatedly try the same stupid trade that isn't working. RQs is my favorite. We love you, RQ. Thank you for being the backbone to everything at BluSky. Well, Reckless ATM means you're at the right place. Come hang out with me every Tuesday and we will dial it in. Come hang out every Thursday and Coach Matt will help dial it in. I think that we are all, I really, really like the community of BluSky because the more people I'm meeting, the more it's just super supportive and we can have these conversations about how we can change, have clear goals, shore up our strategies, have honest self-reviews, talk about where we're at that maybe is not as appealing and where we want to go and how we can shift. Over time, I would never ever tell you that if you do visualization once a month, once a day for a month, then you will be a consistently profitable trader. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you that this strategy helps me be more consistent in real time. When I do it, the next trading session, I am more calm. So that's what we're all about here at BluSky. That's what I'm about on Tuesdays is different techniques, different approaches, different views on psychology and how we can potentially make them our own and find little holes in who we are at killing it with our game and just shore it up, make it a little bit more strong, make us a little bit more steady, improve our patience so that we can continue to capitalize on this market and like let it grow over time. Matt has so many. You're getting more specific. Specificity is important. So when you're visualizing, visualize that 0.15 delta naked put because it probably makes you very happy. And this is about good energy. So bring the good energy. I think visualization can become a very powerful tool. I think that there is a reason why they teach it to elite performers. And I think we are elite performers. So let's keep building our best trader. And I think that is done by one intentional rep at a time. And I don't know if anyone, lifts weights, but you can't just lift heavy one day and then have the muscles you dream of. That's not going to work. That sounds like a muscle tear and an injury. But if you slowly build up your weights and your reps and your strengths over months and months and months, your muscles will gain definition. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create definition around our integrity with honoring our trade system. And this is one tool that can help give us those muscles. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. Okay, guys, that is the end of what I have for today. Any feedback, thoughts? Do you want to try visualization? Do you think you might try it? Do you already do it? Thanks, Coach Matt. I really appreciate you. Matt has been so helpful. I mean, everyone at BluSky has been really actually excellent to be on a team with. And Matt really helps me become one of the newer coaches around here. So another way that he just is all of our mentors. And you should come to the lab on Thursday because it's with Coach Matt. I know. I visualize patterns too. That's why when there was a question earlier about a setup and I had to go to one, it was not hard. It was pretty easy to think about it. And then today presented one of my great ones. Oh my God, Omaro, never skip leg day. Someone asked me the other day, because I mentioned leg day sometimes, and they're like, do you just love leg day? And I'm like, not necessarily. However, I get the best calorie burn because it's the biggest muscle group. So in that way, I do, because I am all about time benefit analysis, I suppose. And so if I'm gonna do a workout, I want to benefit. You're welcome, Riding Highs. I'm really glad that you're here and you decided to join. Come back anytime. Like I said, we do psychology on Tuesdays and technical and all kind of things with Matt on Thursdays, both at market close. We start kind of just immediately at market close because if you're still tuned into the market, you're still having time in your office. It can be a pretty easy pivot to just down a little bit in Discord and pop into this room. And I agree, Fatima. There's some very funny, lovely people here. Thanks for the support, guys. Nacho and Matt, everybody. And never skip leg day. I know. See, that's where I gotta stay on track. I get to present, so I want to bring you guys quality content that I research and stand behind. So I just, like with my other podcast, Market Mamas, and here, we got to be real about it. We have an opportunity to talk as a community and all try to get better. And I think that it's really a gift to be able to have people around you that help, create it stronger like that. And I'll keep you in check because also I've got notes and I kind of want to get through them all. I went a little long last week, but today I had a little extra time. So that's nice. I don't know that I could rock that leopard print as well as she did, but thanks, Fatima. And BluSky Technical Playbook is starting with Coach Matt on Thursdays. You guys seriously do not want to miss that. So I expect to see all of you there on Thursday at Market Close with Coach Matt, because having a strong playbook is seriously critical to understand what your A+ setup is, to even create this visualization practice. So thanks, Matt. Oh, Nacho, you got to tell him I need their lunch break at that time or something. I don't know if that's seen it, but yeah, it will not be a 1 week. Mine has been 4 years in the making, so I can't imagine there's any chance it's a 1 week conversation, but it's an important one to crack wide open and then return to as often as we can, and hit Matt with questions, and then that can help shape future labs. Same with me too, hit me with questions. You guys can friend me on DMs, introduce yourself, send me your questions, and I am more than happy to create sessions around whatever could be the most beneficial for all of us. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here, Amaro. I'm really glad you didn't actually crash, and no one actually crashed. No one was harmed in the making of this video. And have a great rest of your day, guys. Happy Tuesday evening. I'm really grateful to be here with you at BluSky. And if you need anything, hit up anyone in the BluSky community. We will answer all questions and got your back around here. So thank you for being here with us at BluSky and with me specifically on the Psychology Lab Tuesday. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.